Alright, hello everyone, it's Team Rocket Draws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial, and for this video guys, we're gonna be drawing Quaxly. So as you guys can see on screen, this is how he ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw it, then let's get started. I'm also gonna put up a reference right now on screen, that way it's easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys to get all your details. Just keep in mind guys that we are gonna start by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are gonna do your final drawing. So remember to do your lines light, and just like other tutorials, first we're gonna start off by doing a circle. The better that you guys make it guys, the easier it will be to follow. The thing is that mine's not perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect guys, as long as you know close to this. Once we have that, we're just gonna split it in half both ways. Once again, just try to get it right in the middle, that way it's easier to follow the tutorial. And this is basically gonna be the size of the head, so you know, just judge how big you guys are gonna want your drawing. Alright, once we have that guys, I'm using a spare piece of paper just to measure the length of it. I measure the length and then half, so we're actually only gonna be using half, and we're gonna make a line up here which is half from the top, and another one down here. So this one we're actually doing the line going all the way down to that, and then we're just gonna extend it just a little bit more for the feet. Alright, so now this area right here guys is basically where the body's gonna go. And if you guys look at the reference, it's the way that I look at it, it's kind of like an upside down apple shape. I don't know, this is just how it looks like to me. But once we have that, we're gonna start by doing the legs. Just try to get both of them the same thickness and the same length. Now that we have that guys, we're gonna do the flippers, and we're just doing these like straight line shapes. This is just to get the right size and the right angle. We'll finish it off later on. And right here I actually make the right one a little bit bigger than the one on the left, so I do go back and I do make it a little bit smaller, and I think I make the left one a little bit bigger. Alright, so now up here in the circle, in the first part, we're gonna cut it in half, and this is just gonna help us do the top of what I would imagine is his hat, and then up here for like the little hair, whatever this might be. And I make it too long right here, so I do go back and I shorten it up a little bit later on once I do the rest of what I'm calling a hat. But then around here at the same level right there, we're just gonna do this line and make that reference line, and then we're just gonna go ahead and do the hat all the way to that top line that we did earlier, and I just try to round it off. And this is where I was like, you know what, it's too big, let me make it a little bit shorter. Just make sure that we line it up exactly where I have it here in the circle. And yeah, I do work on the hat later on guys, make it a little bit more round, and we can just connect the set right there. Alright, so now on top of that spike or the hair or whatever it might be, we're just gonna do a reference line that's gonna help us make this like W shape. Not sure what that is, we could erase that reference line, but it doesn't line up exactly in the middle of the circle, so just make it a little bit to the right. Alright, so now for the beak, we could just start by doing the bottom line right there, and then just kind of curve it up and connect it to the top. And this one, once again, it's not centered in the middle, so here I'm doing the mouth. You guys can tell it's a little bit more to the right since he is facing at an angle. And we could do the nostrils right there, so you guys can see where the middle is right there. Alright, so now for the eyes. The eyes are pretty simple. The thing is that I'm really bad at doing eyes, so even though they're really simple, they're still really hard for me to do. But they're basically these oval shapes with the smaller oval shape in the inside. So I do go back and I do work on the eyes later on, just because I just have trouble for whatever reason. Alright, so now we're gonna do these other lines right there for the side, which kind of highlights or outlines the actual eye. So this is like I mentioned before, where I go over the eyes and try to, you know, work on them a little bit, even though I'm still not good. Alright, so now for the side of the face right here, we connect it, and it's more of a square shape. It's still round like on mine. I have like a really sharp curve, but it should be a little bit more rounded off on either side. So I do go back later and I do change, right there I changed the right one, but later on I do change the one on the left too. Alright, so now right here for the top of the arm, right here I'm just gonna do a reference line going under right there, the body, and this is just gonna help us know where or how far to do the wing, not the arm, I guess. I mean, would you consider a wing an arm? No, right? It doesn't make any sense. But here we just got the wing, trying to get the shape right there. I think I did the bottom like finger, whatever that might be, a little bit too chubby. Should have thinned that out. Alright, so now right here on the other side as well, don't make it lower than the body. And I might have done the wing a little bit too big, guys, but it's alright. It's not a big issue. Alright, so now right here for this U shape, we're kind of like a UV shape. And once again, it doesn't line up exactly in the middle, but we're fine with that. Now for the flippers, this is where I said we're going to add to them to get the actual shape of them. And like I mentioned before, I do go back and I do change the size. Just once I did the rest of the feet right here, or the flippers, I realized that it wasn't, you know, the right one was way too big. So it doesn't matter, we could always go ahead and make any changes later on, you know. It's like I said, this is still a sketch, so if something doesn't look right, then you guys are always able to go back and change that. So I believe I changed it in just a little bit. But we're basically done, guys, with our sketch. Now it's just a matter of erasing some of those lines that are not supposed to be there. So this is where I recommend looking at the reference. That way you guys know what lines to keep and which ones to erase. And yeah, that's why I said earlier to do your lines light, because we were going to be doing some erasing. So quite some erasing that we're doing here. And this is where I realized that the right foot was just way too big, and if you guys look at the reference, they're similar in size. So I believe once I fix some of these lines, and I'm kind of just paying attention to the reference, and I'm looking at mine, and I'm only picking up the certain areas. For example, right there, I go back on the eyes, you know, work on them a little bit. I tried to make all these lines a little bit more natural, where they're not so stiff. And I believe this is where I go in. I was like, okay, the feet they don't look the same. I think the right one was a little bit too thin, so I do extend it a little bit. And yeah, guys, so just pause the video and try to just look at the reference and make any changes. Right there, I changed the left side of the cheek, like I mentioned before, and I actually changed it a little bit more, I believe, off camera. So just, you know, just little changes here and there. So this one, I'm just trying to make it a little bit smaller, and then I was like, you know what, it's still way too big. So what if we just, instead of making this one smaller, why don't we make the left one a little bit bigger? So there we go. So, and I still don't think that they're similar in size, but it's just a matter of you guys, you know, kind of doing your best at it. And I still think they're okay. There's nothing wrong with them, guys. And then once I'm happy with my sketch, I go ahead and I outline my sketch right here with the marker. And then I started doing this right here, where like wherever there's a corner, I kind of, you know, make it a little thicker right there in those corners. Just, I'm really bad at coloring and outlining, guys. Like, if you guys have seen my other videos, you guys will see how bad I am at doing this stuff. It's just a learning process, and the issue with me is just I don't do it enough, you know. I just, for some reason, I color every now and then. Like I don't really draw as often as I want to. So that's why I'm never like able to just focus on coloring and try to improve my coloring. And that's why every time I do one, I'm basically starting off fresh, so I make a lot of mistakes. Right here, I ended up using some watercolor pencils, and then you guys saw me there using a brush and some water just to lay down like the base color of the hat and the rest of the body and stuff like that. And then I do go over it with the same color pencils, you know, different shades, and I just add a little bit color here and there. Right here you guys saw me using a red and the blue, and it shows a little bit too much, but I just wanted to do something different. I don't want to have it so simple, and then I kind of use a black right there to go over it, and I'm not happy with it, guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't think I did a good job in the coloring. I think I could have done a way better job, but like I mentioned before, I didn't practice or I didn't test out anything, so I just, you know, it's not gonna look good because I just basically just went for it, and obviously I was gonna make mistakes. Yeah, and then I used like a gel pen, like a paintbrush, in order to add some highlights here and there. And something that I'm noticing now is that the right eye is a lot lighter, but it's not like that, guys. It's just that the light hitting the color pencil it's making it like glare a little bit, shine a little bit, so it seems like the right eye, I forgot to add like the black, you know, color pencil on the top and on the bottom, but I did not. That's just the lighting of the, you know, the light. So just trying to show you guys and point out some things. But yeah, and then for the shadows, I realized that it's not good to always use like just a flat out gray. So I'm always trying to do new things, and I realized that on the reference it's kind of like a purple blue kind of like color. It's just, I don't know, it's really muted, so I try to do the same thing, and I think I did a good job on the shadow. Obviously I could have done a better job at applying the color pencil and stuff like that, but I think just the colors and not using just the gray for that part, I think I don't know, I think I enjoyed that. Another thing was the eyes, the pupils. I know I didn't do a good job there. I kind of made them too dark, and then I couldn't add like highlights to them, so I was like, oh man, I guess I'll just, it is what it is, you know, I'll just leave it like that, and hopefully, you know, you guys won't make the same mistakes. That's why I like to point out mine. The beak, I guess I did a little bit too darker in the bottom. Like I mentioned before, I'm starting experimenting. I did add some highlights that the reference doesn't have it, just because I'm just trying to do new things on mine. Doesn't necessarily have to be exactly like the reference, as long as you guys can still tell that it's Quaxly, then there's no issues with that. But yeah, guys, so that's gonna be the end of the video, guys. Don't forget to send in your drawings, your Pokemon drawings, to be featured at the beginning of my tutorials. There's a link in the description to my Discord or my email where it would be best to send them, and then just send them with your name, and I'll be happy to feature them at the beginning of any of my future Pokemon drawing tutorials. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.